Hello, Griffins, and welcome to your guide to Griffin activities. I'm Coach Barge. I'd like to introduce um, our activity staff to you real quick. My admin assistant, Sam Nunley. Sam is starting her first full year here at Winnetonka in the activities office. We are excited about what Sam brings to the future of Winnetonka. She has a wealth of knowledge and skills to be a great part of our team. Sam comes to us from Maple Park, where she was an admin assistant there, and she also worked in our front office here at Winnetonka before moving down last spring to the activities office. If you need anything involving activities, please feel free to reach out to Sam. Her phone number is 816-413-3790, and her email address is samantha.nunley at nkcschools.org. We're excited about Sam and all that she brings to the activities team. Once again, I'm Jared Barge. I'm the proud activities director here at Winnetonka. I'm also the assistant principal. I'm entering my 25th year of education. I'm in my 15th year at Winnetonka and 7th as activities director. I'm very blessed and grateful to be in this role. I love Winnetonka. I've devoted most of my professional career to this school. I love our patrons and our kids, and the school is something that is very dear to me. Although I had dreams of being a professional football player when I was younger. This is one of my dream jobs, is to be an activities director, and I'm going to get into that here a little bit more when I talk about my story. If you ever need anything from me, my office phone is 816-321-4093, and any of those voicemails go directly to my cell phone as well. If you need me and would need to contact me over email, it's jared.barge@nkcschools.org. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about my story and why I am who I am today. In my high school years, I was very blessed to be able to play football at a high level. School was not easy for me, and so I connected with my coaches and my teachers in school that really transformed me into what I am today. I really struggled. Like I said, in school, I was a C and D student. I struggled getting a high score on the ACT. Had to take that numerous times to be able to be eligible for Division I sports. MU stuck with me, and so I started my career, my educational college career at MU, playing football. I loved Columbia. I ended up leaving after my freshman year due to a number of issues. One of them being that school at MU was really difficult for me. There were large classes, and I just needed more support academically. I went to Washburn University after that, and from my freshman year on, I played football there. I started all 4 years at Washburn as a center on the football team, and I was able to be an All-American my senior year there, which is one of my proudest athletic accomplishments. But also, I turned myself into an A and B student by the time I graduated from Washburn. I went on, fast forward, and I have now 3 college degrees, and I'm working on my doctorate. Washburn University, I got my Bachelor of Science in Kinesiology, and then at UCM, I got a master's in the art of teaching, along with physical education certification. At that time, I went straight into, I knew I wanted to be an administrator, so I went right into my educational specialist degree in administration from William Woods. I'm very blessed to have an amazing family. I love this job. I devote a lot of time and effort and energy to making sure that Winnetonka athletics and activities have all the things that they need. I strongly believe in the power of activities, and I just recently met with all of your students in our classroom class meetings, and I explained to them that really without activities, I don't know where I would be in my life without being able to have activities. And they've created such an amazing life for me through hard work and all the things that I was taught in sports. Here, one of the things when I was hired by Dr. Johnson many moons ago now, he asked me to put together, like, what are the things I believe in? And so I've created what we believe in activities. I'm not going to read all of those for you, but if you get a chance to look back at this list of things that I believe in that I think are super important in our school, this is kind of the foundation of what we try to build with our athletic and activities programs. Speaking of them, I do want to make sure that everybody, just a highlight of what I try to tell kids every day is make Winnetonka better with whatever you do on a daily basis. Try to make this a better place. And that's what I've done for the last 15 years as an employee here, is I've just tried to make Winnetonka a better place every day. Sometimes I think I do a great job in that, and sometimes I fall short, but I really work really hard to try to make sure that all of our folks here have everything that they need. To stay informed, we created a one pager that would have everything, the guide to Winnetonka activities. Hopefully this is helpful. We put it all over school. It's at all of our outdoor events. It's in our gyms, so that folks can use their phone and click on QR codes like the one you see here, how to stay informed. Everything that we do involving activities goes into our activities, our school scheduler calendar. And this link here will get you to that. Everything that we do up to date. If there's changes in weather and we have to make any kind of change in any of our activities in terms of our competitions, everything that we do is in in our school, in the calendar. And this is your most up-to-date way to stay informed about Winnetonka activities in terms of competitions. We also have an amazing Into Sports broadcasting team. They spend a great deal of time making sports events and other activities available to you on Into Sports on our YouTube channel. This is a link to that specific YouTube channel that's Into Sports Tonka. They do a really great job. We started this back when we had COVID and we were having to broadcast everything, and we've kind of stuck with that. So most of our major home sporting events are going to be broadcasted on the Into Sports YouTube page. Stay informed on social media. Sam has actually done a great job. She's gone and branched out into Facebook for me, but we have all sorts of different places on social media that you can stay informed. We have Into Sports on Twitter and Instagram. We have my handles on the Griffins Win AD on both Twitter and X and Instagram. And then also we've branched out to Facebook, to where we have Tonka Nation and our Winnetonka High School Activities and Athletics page. And we try to keep everybody informed on those. When we have last minute changes, we also try to put that on our social media pages. Stay informed. Again, last year we went to GoFan digital ticketing. We do not take any more cash in any of our events that we charge for access to our building. I will be telling you that we have added a $50 adult season pass that's available now in GoFan, to where you can have access to every home game that we have here that's a non-tournament fundraiser or postseason. Any regular season sporting event for $50, adults can have access to that for the entire year. I think that's a new thing that's going to be really great. But if you want to buy individual tickets for any home event, we have a GoFan page where you can access that on your iPhone or Android. And each one of those will have the ability to purchase a ticket in that app. Once again, if you don't want to pay for per game and you think you're a person that's going to be at a majority of the sporting events this year, search in that GoFan page for our $50 adult season pass. One of our big deals here at Winnetonka is that we really want, like I spoke a little bit about my story earlier, we really want everyone to get involved in at least one thing. Tonka Pride is something that we preach every day here at Winnetonka, and we also teach Tonka True. Both of those are important because one of them in the Pride situation is get involved, and our T is true is in our Tonka True is for tradition, so that we want folks to really focus in on how important it is to get involved here at Winnetonka. We have over 35 sports and activities, including 25 boys and 25 girls sports to choose from. We're excited in Misha that we've added some things the last couple of years. We've added girls wrestling and esports are all going to be things that we have focused on to improve and give students more options to get involved. In addition, we have a large group of clubs. The last count that we had, we have over 35 clubs that have been running strong for like the last 10 years. They meet now, I said this is twice a month, but they actually are going to meet twice a day or twice a week now during club time. And I want to make sure that people get involved in that. One of our big pushes here in just a second I'm going to talk about is You Belong at Winnetonka. And it's a push I challenged all the students that we met this year to be involved in at least one sport, activity, or club. And we have a lot of clubs ranging from anime and gamers to guitar club to vocal music. Just a couple of examples of what we have that you can get involved here at Winnetonka. Our goal, like I said just a minute ago, is to get every student, 100% of our students in our student body are involved in at least one sport, activity, or club. It's proven that if you have something at your school that you belong to, that it's proven nationally that you're more inclined to get better grades and be more involved. And that's what we really want for our students here at Winnetonka. One thing that I really need help from with our patrons and our adults, I had a big talk with our kids too during their class meetings about sportsmanship, home and away events. This is a big deal. I've been a part of Mission now for 15 years, actually for 25 years as a coach, and now 15 years as a head coach or administrator. And one of their big pushes this year now is the sportsmanship. And if an official zeroes in on a parent or an athlete or a spectator who is not following the rules in terms of sportsmanship, showing poor sportsmanship, using foul language, any of those kind of things, they're going to ask the activities director to remove them. So we've talked to our kids about making sure being respectful at all athletic events, all activities, have fun, be loud, cheer on your Griffins, but we also need them to be respectful to others and show Tonka pride at all times. And we do expect that from our adults as well. We haven't had a lot of issues in the past, but there has been times where we've had to limit the amount of access that adults have to our activities due to actions that they've had at our sporting events or at our activities. We don't want to go down that road, so please help us with that and showing good sportsmanship at all of our home and away events. Also, chain of command. My children are the most important thing to me in my whole life, and I've always wanted to be a dad, and my two kids are my most important thing in my whole life. So the way that we operate at my house that I've brought also to Winnetonka is that we understand that there may be frustrations at times, and what we would like for you to do is follow the chain of command. Have a 24-hour rule. If you're frustrated with something that happens with a coach or a sponsor, please wait 24 hours before any actions are taken. And I'm going to speak through that here in just a minute. We really want our kids to be advocates for themselves first. So 24 hours, when that 24 hours is up, have a student ask to meet and talk with the coach about the situation that's bothering them. The student speaks with the parent or guardian after that conversation is had with the coach. And then from there, if the parent guardian has further concerns, they could reach out to the coach at that time and ask to have a conversation or a meeting. After that, if that still has not resolved the issue, which 99% of the time I've seen that work to where the issue gets fixed, after that conversation, if parent is still not happy with the situation, feel free to reach out to me after you've followed the chain of command in terms of giving your students the opportunity to advocate for themselves first. If something comes directly to me that does not involve the 24-hour rule, my response has always been and will continue to be, have you talked to the coach? Has your student spoken to the coach first? If the answer is no, that's what I'm going to ask them to do, is go back and start that chain of command where the student talks to the coach first. If that doesn't go the direction that they think it should, they can speak to the parent, and then the parent can ask for a meeting with the coach or sponsor, and so on. But what we want to try to make sure that we're doing is always abiding by the 24-hour rule where unless it is an emergency issue that needs to be addressed right away, please follow that chain of command that we spoke about in the slide prior to that. If it is an emergency, feel free to reach out to me right away, if you feel like it's a welfare situation with your student. Okay, academics and citizenship. Here's a really important part about being able to be a part of Winnetonka activities, especially when it comes to MISHA activities. We have a lot of rules that we have to abide by through MISHA. One of the main things is academic eligibility. You have to be a full-time student during the semester that you compete and the semester prior to competition. You have to pass 7 out of 8 courses in the semester before you compete. There is a little bit of difference there in the summer, as in the summer, MISHA allows you to receive 1 credit of makeup work that you can do to go towards eligibility if you did not finish the spring strong. But the most important thing that people understand is that they need to pass 7 of 8 courses each semester to be able to be eligible. If you have any questions about that, this is the actual MISHA guide, which is 2.32, which can be found online. I also have in that one pager that I have, there's a QR code that takes you directly to the MISHA handbook. But basically, what we are an 8-block we are an 8-block school, so the students need to pass 7 of 8 and gain 3.5 credits to be able to be academically eligible each semester. Citizenship is a big part. We follow all of the MISHA citizenship requirements, and we also have an NKC school district requirement, which is our handbook. I have a link to that in this presentation to where each student and parent and guardian can look at the specific things that we encourage each parent and student to look into our handbook and to make sure that you understand all of the guidelines that we are asking you to be able to follow if you were in sports or activities. That can be found under departments and programs. If you click on that button on our website at www.nkcschools.org. And then from there, the handbook can be found within athletics and activities. And that's our high school athletics and activities handbook. There's also in that same area, the middle school, if you have a younger student or scholar, that you can pull that up too. And you also have the inclement weather guidelines and hot weather guidelines that we have to follow as a school district, which we actually are having to do today as I'm making this recording. Anytime that we reach certain levels of unsafe heat, we have to manipulate our practice times. And so that can all be found at our district website. Also, some of the key handbook topics that I'd like for folks to focus on when they get into the handbook. Number 1, protecting your eligibility. Some of the things we've already talked about now, that's on page 4 through 6. Basic guidelines for participation. It's pages 6 through 7. Being able to be a credible school citizen is on page 7. Basically, that breaks down our citizenship rules that we have here at North Kansas City School District. And then 2 that are super important and have actually come up more lately, our hazing policy and our social media plan is on page 8. Also, a chemical abuse policy, which involves drugs and alcohol, is on page 8 and 9. Those are all things that I think are typical things that we deal with throughout the school years in terms of our handbook and citizenship. Moving forward, we talked a little bit about academics already, but also one of the things I talked about briefly in my story is that really college sports changed my life to where I have a great job and I'm highly educated because I could play sports. And so one of the things I push on kids all the time is to make sure that when they ask me, like, hey, Coach Barge, I want to be a college athlete. What do I need to do? And I said, the first thing you have to do is focus on your grades, because there are very good athletes in America that are fighting for scholarships. And only about 3% of our high school athletes are going to get any kind of college scholarship to do athletics. So you have to set yourself apart from the others. And one of the best ways you can do that is through academics and taking school seriously. I put together another flyer that is, so you want to be a college athlete, and it focuses on many different examples of things that could help a student that wants to be wants to move from high school to college and continue their athletic career through college. I tried to break that down to where we also use a bunch of different QR codes to go to NCAA, the NAIA, NCAA Eligibility Center, all of the things that you would need if you want to be a person that moves from high school to college athletics. That's kind of your one-stop shop to be able to get all that information. Also, I have tons of resources that come from the NCAA on things that you should do moving through your different career. In high school, this is an example of that. This is kind of the breakdown of what you should do as a freshman, sophomore, junior, and then your senior. I have a lot of these resources in the activities office, but they also are accessible through those QR codes that I had on the last slide to be able to help better understand what you need to do to be able to be a college athlete. I talk to kids all the time about the grades, but one of the things I struggled with was an ACT score. Division 1, 2, and 3 have all gone to a sliding scale. This is an example of that where depending on your core GPA, you can get a specific super score on the ACT or SAT. And so that's just things that we always talk about in terms of getting our kids to a right place to where they know what they need to do to get to the next level and move from Winnetonka to a college setting to be an athlete. There are lots of things that I could continue to talk about, but I wanted to keep this around 20 minutes. We're at 20 minutes right now, and so I want to make sure that if there's any questions at all that we can help you with and it involves activities or athletics, please reach out to me. I try to be very accessible to anyone who has questions or concerns. My office number is 816-321-4093, and my email is jared.barge@nkcschools.org. Thank you very much for your time. If you ever have any questions, again, please reach out. If not, we look forward to seeing you at our many events this year for the 2024-25 school year. Thank you so much.